Give you the background.
1, 2,
Steve.
3. Okay, so I'm talking with Leigh O'Brien,
That's right.
who is the managing director and executive producer of the Ettamogah Group, who own the hotels and the name and the rights.
And all the intellectual property and the cartoons dating back 60 years.
Right, right. Now, Leigh, you tell me that you've owned the hotel here since 1997.
That's correct.
At which time the hotel was about 10 years old.
That's correct.
And how has the Ettamogah Group developed since that time?
Well, what happened is I took over all the rights in 1994. I bought the rights off Ken Maynard, and then
Ken Maynard being the originator of the cartoons,
yes,
the Australasian Post.
Yes, and because we all remember them dating back so many years. On the Australasian Post, they've been in the Sydney Morning Herald, and I think the Melbourne papers as well in the past.
Yeah.
So after I acquired the rights, I was trying to work out what I was going to do with this concept. I knew I wanted to do a chain of pubs or restaurants, similar to what they do over in America.
Yep.
And so one day I went to Darling Harbour and looking around, and I wanted to do a merchandising shop there because there's a lot of merchandising. Because the two pubs were in administration at the time.
Sorry, the two...
one in Queensland and this one here.
Right, yep.
Were under administration and to the New South Wales Bank of New South Wales at that time. So what I did, I went about and I acquired the James Craig pub in Darling Harbour there, and I built the first Ettamogah theme bar restaurant, and it was turned out to be very successful, and it's all themed off this and the characters and that. And what I want to do is develop, which I did, is children in those cartoons as well. So it'll be like a family entertainment plus adult entertainment. And that was quite successful. That used to do 117 kegs of beer a day up there in that place. It was very successful. And we were there during the Olympics and that as well. And so after that, then I built another one out at Rouse Hill, which is called Kellyville.
Yes, know where that is?
Yeah, and I sold that one. After I built that, I ended up selling that one to Woolworths, and I've owned it now for just over 10 years, and I've renewed their licence agreement now for another 10
years. And is that still in the same format as this one?
Yes, it is. They've done extra work to it, but we still have the big facade at the front and so on. And that's I think they've won the Hotel Award, about 3 occasions.
Excellent.
And that's a really good family pub and still is today.
The Queensland one is not such a happy story though.
Look, things happen in life, and a lot of people in Australia don't understand the value of IP, intellectual property.
Yes.
The Queensland pub was a magnificent pub, and the amount of tourists that used to go there. And the gentleman who bought that arranged to do a new licence agreement with us back in 1994 when he acquired it from the receiver.
Yes.
But then he found the clause that if there was functions in the barn, you don't pay royalties. So then it was an ongoing fight for so many years.
Right.
And what had happened is the judge in the Supreme Court, or the Federal Court, awarded that he had to pay the royalties, and his royalties increased, and he said, I don't want to do this anymore. And what he did, he terminated the licence agreement, and he took the truck off the roof and the name off the front, and he said, that's it, I don't have to do any more. And the judge said, no, you have to change the look because of the IP.
And we see what we see now, which is a totally unrecognisable kind of hodgepodge.
Well, I offered him a new 25-year licence agreement.
Yes.
And the money that he spent on that, he would have been better off with a 25-year licence agreement and moved on. Things happen in life, you just got to work through it.
Yes.
I offered him all the IP. More IP. I offered him the animation because I developed these cartoons into animation, and I did May 26.
Tell me about the animation though, Leigh. That's interesting. Not a lot of people might remember that these cartoons came alive, so to speak, thanks to you.
Yeah, and look, Ken Maynard was a brilliant artist. A lot of people aren't aware of that, but when they come in here and they see this artwork around in this place, it's a magnificent concept with this artwork. It's the only type of IP in the world that has got all this artwork and these pubs are themed off.
Yes.
Right? And you look at the detail, it would take him 3 to 5 days to do this artwork. And if you look at the detail, it's unbelievable. and you can stand in front of them, just look at them.
They're like an Aussie. Where's Wally? There's all these tiny little things going on in the background.
Yeah.
Minute little details and little stories within stories within stories. Yeah.
Yeah. What it does, it shows the true Australia, the larrikinism, because Ken Maynard was a copper, and he was on the corner of Flinders Street and King Street and Queen Street in Melbourne, and it was this time of the 6 o'clock closing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And he started off drawing Ned and his Neddy, and in a lot of his cartoons you'll see Ned and his Neddy in the background, the drover. And then what he did with all these guys walking out of the pub at the, when I spoke to Ken before he passed away, all these guys that were walking out of the pub, they had the long necks on their shoulder and they'd be yelling at him, and it was just, what do we call it, the guzzlers down that time.
Or the 6 o'clock swill.
Yeah. And it really shows what the Australia was about. Get in and have a drink and have a good time. And they used to yell at him and wave at him, and he'd have a laugh, and direct him. And that's what it was all about.
Yep.
Australians are very unique with one another, because what they do is they hang. What's the word? They hang a bit of rubbish. I won't say.
Give each other a bit of stick, a bit of curry.
And everyone loves
sledging.
it.
Yeah.
And we're the only country in the world that does that. That's what these cartoons are about.
Yeah.
And you could not print these cartoons today, because you'd be, you'd basically be grilled, because they were funny. They're still very funny now, and they were very humorous back in those times. And it just shows, that you've got the missus in there and the kids and things like that. It just shows the backbone of Australia, what it's really about.
A little bit of drunkenness too, unfortunately.
Yeah,
as well.
But that was in those times.
So the future, Leigh, how do you see it now? The COVID business, which is going on down here on the Victorian New South Wales border, is a bit difficult for everybody who's running any sort of business down here at the moment, yourself included. How you're revitalising the pub? It's open now. The business is coming in waves as the restrictions ebb and flow. What's the future for Ettamogah from here?
Ettamogah's got a very good future. Look, we've all got these restrictions on the moment. We've got to work through them. That's it. We're stuck with this, and we can't do anything about it. We've just got to do what they tell us to do, and work through the whole thing. So the future for us is good, because we want to redevelop this site. As I said, I've owned it since '97.
Yes.
I've had a lot of problems with tenants and managers and things like that, and I've moved up here myself. And since I've been up here, we've had the drought, the bushfires, and the COVID. And it's
bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, it's very lucky that I moved up, because I've really seen what's been going on with the locals,
yes,
and the tourists and things like that. And
the road was realigned slightly too. That didn't help you.
Oh, that you used to be able to see the pub from the Hume Highway.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. And what happened is that you can look across there now. You've got the school, you've got all those trees and everything. You can't see it from the highway anymore. We had a bit of a problem going back so many years, where they took down the highway signs they said we were promoting drink driving, when I reapplied to have them put back up. So I've just finished a 4-year fight to have the road signs put back up.
Yep.
And what that is now, it's classed as a museum.
Okay.
Which is magic. Now, I've got something to work with.
Yes.
I can build the rest of the area around the Ettamogah Pub Museum. They'll be the signs on the highway.
Okay.
I can finish the barn off now. I'd like to have the boutique brewery up the back.
Yes.
There's another big reception area, and put the supermarket and that over here as well.
Okay, so you're looking at, you did say you're going to move some accommodation huts in?
Yeah, I'd like to get accommodation in as well, because we have a lot of inquiry for accommodation.
Yes.
We have a lot of inquiry for functions, weddings and so on, and they need to come here and be able to sleep. And the other thing that what we've got to, I allow the caravans to come in and stay for free.
Free camping.
Free camping, and same with the campers that come through, want to stay overnight.
And there's amenity blocks for the people who
Yes,
stay?
I've got showers here and I've got toilets here. They're open all night, 24 hours a day. They can come in, park, relax, come in and have a meal, have a drink and go to bed. What it does, it gets them off the highway.
Yep.
And gets them away from it, and they can sit here and relax. And some nights I have 25 vans.
Yes.
28 vans here, and some nights I even get the truck drivers coming in.
Now you mentioned that you're looking to put a supermarket next door?
Yes, I'd like to put I've got it approved actually for a Foodworks supermarket.
Yep.
So once that's all done, then it'll be a hive of activity, because since I've owned it, what's happened, we've had all the drink driving laws, a lot of things have changed
Sure.
over the years, and and then Albury has basically grown out to here now,
Yes.
where it wasn't before. So we've got to get buses on now, and then run people in and out of town. We have to. The functions now have the buses on so that we can then cater for them in the functions. And all the locals, there's 1,500 locals around here now.
Right.
So there's enough here for them to be able to service a supermarket, and
Sure.
I'll have a bottle shop and big merchandise.
Now, you say you're going to have a brewery, like a
I'd like-
microbrewery or something?
Yeah, because Ettamogah has always had its own beer range.
Yes.
And as you can see by some of the cans up here, Powell's have done it, Forex have done beer, CUB. They're
Oh, right. Okay, we'll have a look at those right up.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And what they've done is that Ettamogah, as I said, always had the beer, and I want to get that brand back in.
Sure.
Because it'll be called the Ettamogah Pub Brew.
So are you actively looking for someone to run or install?
No, I've got all the pricing and everything ready now.
So you're going to do your own?
Do our own, because
Right.
with today it's all automatic.
Yep.
Computerised.
Sure.
So you don't have to worry about bad batches or anything like that. I've already got the price. I've had plans in council which I pulled out again, but I'll put them back in. It won't take much because I've got the area.
Yep.
And up in that back section, be a reception area for weddings and so on. You'll have the micro.
Is that the barn we're talking about?
No, that's the other big shed up the top.
Right,
there, where
right.
I put a bit of the artwork.
Yep.
And I've put photocopies of artwork, and then people can. Once we've done it up more, we'll put more artwork up there, and then next to it'll be the brewery, and then next to that will be, I'll try and do a pizza where they can have a beer and sit in the beer garden up there.
Okay, so any day now we're going to see Ettamogah Precinct. It's really going to be now, isn't it, with all this?
No, this is actually called the Tabletop Village. I'm
Okay.
calling it, this is Tabletop we're in,
Yes.
and I'm actually calling it the Tabletop Village, home of the original Ettamogah pub, right? The reason I'm doing that is that all the other people that come here and have businesses, or I'll do the supermarket, if I sell it, they don't have to pay royalties. So they can be the Tabletop Village.
Right.
You know what I mean? It
Yep.
gets them away from the brand.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. So, but just getting back to what you were saying before, the vision for Ettamogah is where I did the test case. I did the pub at MacArthur Square as well. Now that is now actually the MacArthur Tavern licence.
Okay.
And then we did another one in WA, Morley, and then we've done another one at Cunderden for the council over at Cunderden in WA. So what has happened with Ettamogah, where it's going to go forward from here is overseas. I have offers coming all the time from America. But I want to get this place cleaned up and sorted out before I move on to anything
This will
else.
we become the flagship.
Well, with the COVID around, yes, this is the icon.
Yes.
This is the backbone of the IP. So with what's going on with the COVID, it's going to give me time to sort this out, and that's what's been happening while I've been up here. Ettamogah's got a brilliant future.
Thank you very much, Leigh. That's a bright future for Ettamogah.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Thank you.